Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about SEO, how you can unite SEO and digital marketing, how to get much higher results. And I'm excited to discuss this topic with Joseph Kahn. How are you?
Hey, oh great. I'm super excited to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me here.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Check out your profile. You have extended experience. I want to learn more from you, especially before the webinar. You told me about schema. It's interesting to know more because I think it's important today to provide schema for websites. Before we start, just tell more about yourself, your background, experience, and why you decided to pay attention with SEO.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've been doing technology for a long time. I was a Microsoft developer back since 1997. But I've been doing HTML development since 1994 with the first book, HTML 1.0, that was about this thick. Like it was this huge, super huge book. And so I got started back then, but I didn't get into SEO until much, much later. Post midlife crisis, was in a rock band. So a lot of stuff you'll see is, rock oriented, which helped me create during the pandemic, my digital agency, where I was focused on harmony and harmonics because that's, I'm a musician, but I was also a programmer. So I'm like, once I started studying digital marketing in 2020, when the pandemic started happening, because you couldn't play music anymore, you couldn't go to bars anymore, you couldn't be in the public anymore. So it's like, so what do I need to do? I need to get online. I need to start back into this HTML development thing. And then I started discovering to get on Google, to get ranked, to get seen on social media, that there were these harmonies. There are these things like when you create a chord for people to listen to, you can't just use one note. You can't just use two notes. That's boring. That's not going to work. So you add a third note, you add a fourth note. Those are what we call harmonies. So I'm like, wait. So let me apply what I know about music and rhythm and harmony and see if this works in the SEO world. And magic took place. So the clients that we work with are like chuckjones.com. So everything you'll see in my training is Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Looney Tunes. We rank for hundreds of thousands of search traffic on characters like, if you search Pepe Le Pew, you'll find our pages. If you search Chuck Jones Gallery, Bugs Bunny painting, any of these types of things, that's all our listings and all of our ranking using harmonic ranking factors, which means using some on-page and off-page and things that you probably are familiar with, but also some copy intentions and using, as you had mentioned right off the bat, was schema, schema added to some things. So my background is not technically the SEO, it's music. But once I got into, I pulled from my development background and my music background to start going, wait, all this makes sense from a harmony perspective. And when you apply the harmony to your content, to your images, to your social media, to any of that kind of stuff, it's like the AIDA formula, attention, interest, desire, action. When you apply that harmony, magic happens. So that's kind of where I'm at, what I do. And that's what our agency. So our agency is called HumJam. So if you Google HumJam, you'll see, but our agency is just built around helping get those harmonies together. And so there's so many different pieces of the puzzle. And so we look for what are those pieces that we can pull together and create that magic. And so that's what HumJam does, is just figure out where all the pieces and the harmonies that we can, combine together. So we work with a lot of tools. We work with a lot of people. Like, we're not solo players, because you can't be a solo player and create harmony. You need the whole band. You need the whole, you need everybody to make it work. And so, we work with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tools, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you took the best from music, to provide in your SEO experience. Yeah. And I agree with you. Jack of all trades, master of none. I love this quote because today SEO is hard, it's complex, and I know even a few specialists who can provide just one link building technique and to earn $1 million, good money with that, because they are paying attention to one specific niche direction, right, and to be the best, just to provide one specific technique. So I have the first question for you.
Yes.
How from your experience, how to create content strategy that will provide results today, especially for new websites or even websites without traffic, because I have clients, big clients, and some companies cost a lot, but they have no experience with SEO. They don't know how to create high quality content, but they want to jump on this field. Tell how to find the right strategy, because we have this huge competition, and how to overcome them and get the right traffic.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of also our wheelhouse too, is from the strategy perspective. And that's literally the first thing that we start with is, and again, most of our training, the harmony starts with the listener, starts with who we're writing the song for, who we're writing the content for. So we need to know that first. Like, so usually you're talking to the CEO, you need it top down. And usually who knows the customer the best is the CEO, is the person at the top. The person who created the company is usually, they were the customer first and then created the business. So that person is going to know what is the intentions, what are people looking for, what do they desire, what are their pain points. So the strategy has to start with what are the intentions and then the goals. So no strategy can be executed without starting with a goal first. So what are we trying to do? Get more engagement, get more opt-ins, get more sales, whatever that goal is, because that's going to determine from our strategy whether we're starting with top of the funnel keywords, middle of the funnel keywords, or bottom of the funnel keywords. So bottom of the funnel keywords are going to be your goal is I need sales. Okay. If you're targeting top of the funnel keywords and your goal is sales, you're going to be sad. You know what I mean? If your top of your funnel is to get traffic, then we can do that. Okay. Because this is top of the funnel, but then we got to figure out how to get them to the CT action. What are your goals? So the middle of the funnel goals would be, I need opt-ins. I need people to come into my funnel at the middle of the funnel, right? That's when people are starting to discover what they want. So we need to get them opt-ins. So we would need to discover, where are they entering the funnel? What are the KPIs, or the critical performance indicators, of the things that matter in those areas? And then that's going to help me and help you, I know, to develop our strategy. So once we know if it's top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, keywords based on the intent of the searcher, then we're going to determine what kind of content. Is that content going to be an infographic? Is it going to be a video? Is it hero content? Is it how-to content? Is it hub content, which is just topical relevant content? That's top of the funnel, right? And then we move down. So we got to determine that path of the client, and then we're going to create that strategy and that goal. So we got to start with the goal, and the goal will lead to the main objective, which will then lead to the tactic. And then the tactic is measured by the indicator, the KPI, how many conversions, how many opt-ins, how many visits, how many, was I ranked number one? What's my ranking? That's also a KPI. We call that vanity KPIs because here at our company, we like the ROI, meaning, who cares if you rank number one if you're not making any money, right? Yeah. We want to make money. So, so usually we're like, if you rank number one, that's great. But if your number one listing isn't giving you any opt-ins or cash or clients or whatever, let's figure out a better solution. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that helped, but that kind of is our strategy. We first start with that goal, then we work to the objective, then we work the tactic. And, there's hundreds of thousands of those, right? The tactics. And then we go to the KPI, and that's down to the content. So when we look at it and go, what are we trying to do? That'll tell me, is this an article? Is this a video? Is this, you know what I mean? Based on the goal. And the goal is based on, what are you trying to accomplish? Opt-in, traffic, sales, what is that thing that you're trying to do? That's where it starts.
Valuable. Okay, can you tell how to find the balance between top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel? Where we need to pay more attention to write more blog posts or Yeah.
And I love this question, and this usually happens, and I will say it's determined based on where you're at as a business. Okay, so let me classify that. And what do I mean by that is what's doable and what you can accomplish, because here's the deal. Bottom of the funnel keywords are super competitive. Okay. So if you're a startup, targeting bottom of the funnel keywords will be super frustrating. Okay. For startups. And so if you're brand spanking new, Should you be targeting bottom of the funnel keywords, paying a SEO $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and you're targeting bottom of the funnel and you're brand new? No, you should not be doing that. Okay, because you need a lot of stuff to get to that competitive level if you're startup, meaning bottom of the funnel. So if you're brand spanking new, complete new startup, we got to get you traffic. We got to get Google seeing you. And how we do that is target top of the funnel stuff that's low, long tail keywords, right? So we look now, what are the questions people's asking? What are they looking for? What are they interested in? If you're a brand new web page, we gotta start building what I call topical relevance. Okay, so you got about 3 months to 6 months in this initial phase. If you're a startup, we're going to target all top of the funnel. Why? Because by the end of that 90 days to 6 months, I want you to be getting 1,000+ visitors on the topic of where you're at. Not are they looking to buy you yet? I just need the topic there in 6 months. And how can we get there? Easy to create, non-competitive, top of the funnel phrases. We can build that up to 1,000 to 2,000, 5,000 visitors coming to the track. So then what do? Now it's the part of the engager or the web designer now, which is I got to design a site that's going to take them from my article deeper into my site. That's why we want internal links, right? The internal links are to go deeper into the site so that you can now get them from the top to the middle. And that's why those links are great from the easy, low-hanging fruit content you can write all day long. And this is a secret between us and the listeners. I use AI to write that content. You don't need you don't need a real person. This is top of the funnel stuff. I got a plethora of tools that'll write this for me. Okay. And then you doctor it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You make sure it's SEO on page a little bit. You let AI write it, and that's top of the funnel. Now your middle of the funnel, now we need to write it ourselves. Bottom of the funnel, humans. But the top of the funnel, we can get some AI in there, make it super easy. But once they get down, we want to internal link them down into the middle. Once you're in the middle, now you're going to give them graphics, some video. From there, they're going to be more interested. Do you see what I mean? And so you don't need to be hitting super competitive keywords from a startup from the beginning with SEO. Meaning you pay us, we're going to get you traffic. That traffic, now we develop a website to get them internally in, and we can be better than Google getting them from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. Meaning we can direct them from the top to the bottom. And the top is easy. You know this, right? The top is easy. The top of the funnel is easy because that's the long tail. Long tail is all at the top. Short tail is all at the bottom. That's hard. Once you have a DA of say 40 or higher, and we would want to get you there in 6 months, meaning we'd want to get your domain authority up there in that period. Once we get you there, now we can target SEO to the middle and the bottom. Okay. But we can't, you're wasting your money targeting those in SEO until you get your authority to that level. Does that make sense? You would use paid advertising until you got, as you build, you would use a combo, because that's the other thing that we do in Harmonics is other channels like social media, like, adding stuff to the SEO, especially for a startup. Startup needs to add paid advertising or SEO while they're building that SEO game up,
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Well explained. Okay, you mentioned about AI tools, artificial intelligence. Can you tell more about that? How to use them? Because when I check out the results from these tools, sometimes I get good results. I need to edit them. Sometimes it's nonsense. Can you tell more how to?
The interesting thing about it. Can I give out a tool name?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, so he's gonna love me for doing this. It's not as well known, but it's the best in the market right now. It's called Longshot AI. Okay, it's called Longshot, and I don't know if you've heard of Longshot, but what's so cool about Longshot is it legitimately it walks from keyword to headline to meaning it. So along the way, you're customizing the AI engine. So when it gets to the writing part, it already has all the. So it doesn't write junk, meaning the way it builds on itself. And then when you ask AI to write or to elaborate on a paragraph, you can then add 2 or 3 more keywords to the AI to center that paragraph around those extra keywords. So their tool makes it super easy. Like I've used Jarvis, I've used copies. I've used lots of different AI tools. I think it's called Jarvis. I think they've changed the name, but I've used them in combination with different things, and those do write a little bit of junk. Meaning, there's one that I'm testing. It's called Social View, and it said the keywords are researching the keywords. I'm like, no, they're not. You know, like the AI said the keywords were researching the keywords. I'm like, I cannot say that. You know. Like when I reread. So some AI is really weird. It doesn't, but Longshot AI knows entities. That's the difference. It's semantically entity-based driven. So it's not going to say the keywords are creating the keywords because it knows the difference between entities. So it's going to say, you know what I'm saying? So their tool has I talked to the developer. It's got entity and semantics built into the AI, so it doesn't commit those grammatical crimes. You know what I'm saying? So their AI is a little bit better. It's getting better. Like if we had this conversation 6 months ago, I would say no to AI, period. You know what I mean? So it is getting better. And even one of the pages that we've ranked with Chuck Jones for 10,000 plus searches a day is AI written. Now, nice. AI plus human. Okay, so the human looked over it and edited it. You know what I'm saying? So it was written by AI, but then the human kind of went through and, you know, got rid of the stuff that sounded robotic, you know. But it did save tons of time. That's the thing about AI, is it's saving a lot of time. And then the new, like, Longshot, realistically, I'm writing an article right now, and I'm timing it for a review video. The article is a 1,500 word article about AI copywriting, 20 minutes or less, with an 80 plus surfer SEO score, 20 minutes or less, all written by AI using this tool. And that's what I'm doing right now in a review video.
Nice.
So it's like, whoa, like, so for top of the funnel content, why not use the easy to use tool, especially if you're a freelancer or doing it yourself or whatever? That'll save you so much time if you're a writer. You know what I mean? And even if you're not a writer, a tool like that will help you get the content out, and then you can tweak it. You know what I mean?
By the way, I'm using AI a lot.
Oh, good. Okay.
By edit all the results, because sometimes I use some fragments of text and combine them, unite, just editing. A lot of editing, but the results are good. I need to check out your tool.
Longshot AI is a great tool, and if you want to get together on it or talk about it, or even me show you some stuff or whatever, let me know, because it's really cool. It is a cool tool. And I'm trying to get the word out. I'm working with a developer to get the word out to the community, because it's not, most people don't know about it. And I mean, it's just between us, but I believe it is 10 times better than Jarvis. So it's just so easy. Like the workflow to create a blog article is insanely easy. And the results are semantically NLP'd. He used the Google NLP API. So your results rank for top of the funnel keywords right out of the box, like, you know, in 20 minutes. So you want some content to rank by the end of the week in 20 minutes or less, this tool will help you do that.
Nice.
It won't research the keyword. So I use other tools to research the keyword. Once I have found the keyword, then I punch it into their tool.
Okay.
So you got to get the keyword first, and then you go for it.
You can type this tool on private chat. I'll share with the audience, because probably people, if they are watching right now, they can check out. Okay, nice. Love it. Okay, I have the next question about schema. Can you tell how to add schema, why it's important, and what type of schema to use today now?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and the answer is loaded. And the loaded part of that is the easiest way, and I teach this in a course. The easiest way to do this is go to the Google website. If you go to the developers.google.com, you'll see, and I think everybody here has maybe have seen this, but there's introduction, basics, beginner, and advanced SEO. They literally break it down like that when you go to the developers.google. If you click on advanced SEO, it'll give you a catalog of every rich snippet that's available on Google to you, meaning it will, it's called the search gallery, and it starts at the very top: article, book, breadcrumbs, carousel, course, data set, like from Google itself. And then if you click on that, it literally will take you to the actual code that you could then copy and paste. And I use, and some of you are using WordPress, you can just use a script injector, or, you know, the code that you can copy and paste anything to your header script or whatever. And you can just copy and paste this. This is the easiest way. If you're an article, you just copy and paste the article schema, and it tells you what's the title. You know, you just fill in the blanks, but right from Google itself. Then there's another tool, which is the validator tool. So once you do this and install it from Google, you copy their code, edit their code. There's a validator on schema.org, and schema.org will explain the details of everything you find on the Google site. So Google site just kind of gives you a picture, and, you know, here's what you're after, and some stuff. But if you go to schema.org, it goes down, all the way down, and gives you tons and tons and tons of things that you can edit and add to doctor up your schema. So so it's realistically saying, do I have a block going down? And there's about 30 plus, there's more. Google are adding them. But you just go and look and see, is any of these something that I have? Meaning, do I have an article? Do I have a recipe? Do I have a job posting? And you'll find them all. And if you do, then you'll want to add that schema to that page. So if it's and here's the thing, that every website needs the basic web page schema, okay, which tells Google who the entity is, okay, and it's all about entities. And what is an entity? Your business, your, you know, who you are. And that's based, you've heard of EAT score, right? Expertise, authority, trust. Well, that entity builds the expertise, authority, trust. So if the entity has that, then you want to include that on your web page. Why? Because your web page will rank higher if your entity has a higher ranking in the sphere, in the internet sphere. And how do you have a higher ranking in the internet sphere? Your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, your Twitter profile, anything that's connected to your web page, anything that's connecting schema to your web page in the Google database and index. Do you see where we're going with this? Meaning, you want, if you have what's on the schema page, you want to make sure to include that code, that JSON code. You don't have to be a JSON expert. You can copy and paste. And that's how you, and so this tool will tell you if you did it right or wrong. The checker tool, there's a checker tool that will literally tell you whether you did it right or wrong.
Yeah.
Let me grab the Longshot AI tool for you in the chat. But so these tools, I can add that even to the tool that I'm talking about to the chat if anybody needs that, just the schema checker tool.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Okay, guys, just give me 2 seconds.
This is to that's to the actual Google Gallery page that I was telling you, where they can find, you know, the particular schema that they need. This one is to the checker page, where you can check either the Google tools or the schema tools, and I use them both. Meaning Google, on that particular one, you'll see 2 ways to check your structured data, and I use them both. It'll basically tell you a little bit of details about your structured data is on that second link that I just put there. And then the easy way to write it, I'm a brand ambassador for RankRanger, and there's a plethora. Okay, so I'm just going to caveat and say I'm giving you the RankRanger schema generator tool, but and it's free. There's a plethora of these. Meaning, if you just search schema markup generator, there's a ton of them. I mean, there's I think Yoast has one. Just about tool may have a schema generator, but what I like about this one is if you have an article, you put article and then you fill out the form and it creates the code, you copy and paste. It's just copy and paste. So you fill out, meaning you don't have to edit the code. It'll edit the code for you. You just copy and paste and then test it. So that's what I like about this generator too. So you go to Google, see that you have a listicle. You go, oh yeah, I got a list on my webpage. Okay. You see you have a listicle. Then you go to the schema generator and you fill that in, and then you copy that onto your website. Okay. And there's many plugins out there too that just inject, the same. Google Tag Manager is one of them. Some of you may use Google Tag Manager to inject your tracking code to Google Analytics, stuff like that. The same tool that you would inject code for that is the same tool that you would copy and paste your JSON code. Or as you know, you're going to probably, any WordPress plugin is going to have the schema built into it, but you got to use it to leverage it. Meaning if you're not using it, it's not going to magically go down on your page. You got to tell it what to use and what to do. So if you're using Rank Math, Yoast, any of those, you have to use it. It just doesn't do it by itself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Totally. Yeah. Love it. Okay, let's get back to this AI tools. Can you tell, is it possible to create content at scale? For example, I can explain what kind of content I want to get. I found that some of my clients' competitors have content for 100,000 pages, a lot of pages. It's converter from USD to B2C, USD to Ethereum, like cryptocurrency, many different combinations, and all combinations have own page, and is it possible to create content at scale for all these pages? Because I think it will be expensive.
The only thing that I could totally. In the I'm not totally against spinners when they're used correctly. And a spinner would be an instance where SpinWriter is a really good one. I don't know if you know Josh Zamora, but SpinWriter is a good one where you can choose that entity difference and spin it in a different way. Meaning, what I mean by the entity difference is you can say this is Kansas versus San Francisco, or this is Taiwan versus Asia or whatever, and then it will spin that same page with that new keyword semantics, and you could even spin it with other keywords so it's not identical. You know what I mean? So you could spin. So if you have the correct language, the H-lang set up correctly, and then you have, meaning the location details set up correctly in the schema, and then if you spin it with some semantic keywords and location, that you can do that to scale. You can get thousands of those done very quickly to scale.
I think
even Josh has a tool. I think it's called Zarp, and I'm not sure if he has an enterprise level of Zarp. Have you ever heard of Zarp?
No.
Yeah. Oh, Zarp is one of those tools that will allow you to choose locations and different things, and it will spin the page into the multiple locations for your website. So if you're an SEO agency and you create we have a new service for 5 different locations, you can put those 5 different locations and it'll spin the same web page to those 5 different locations automatically.
Yeah.
So there are AI tools that'll do that, but they're not writing content, they're spinning it. So if you create the original content, and then you could semantically spin that to scale, if that makes sense. I don't know anything that'll write unique content to scale without the original. Like if you have an original, then it can spin it. Versus creating unique content at scale. I don't know about that. If that makes sense.
What about quality? What about
the quality of the spin? The quality of the spin is good as long as you're determining. You can go ahead and pre-spin your variations to make sure they read correctly. So what I mean by that is so if there's, say, 4 adjectives, you make sure those 4 adjectives work on the content. Like you spin them and read it and go, yep, those will work. Because you could possibly have bad adjectives or bad verbs or that spin in the mix. So as long as your spins work, as long as the content replacements work in the spins, then it should read perfectly. Meaning each 1,000, you could do thousands of them too, depending on how many keywords and variables you have. But as long as the location is unique, you could do that thousands of times and still be okay. And be accurate.
Yeah, got it. Yeah,
And get ranked. As long as you indexed all those new pages in a correct way, you know what I mean? Then you can get them ranked too. Because I don't believe Google has a duplicate. I don't think the duplicate content factor would go against you there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not in that case. I don't think it would go against you. I think it would be okay.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the main topic about SEO and digital marketing. How we can unite different marketing channels today? For example, if we want to get SEO traffic, but probably we can cover social media or any other platforms and forums, Reddit. Can you tell how to unite the strategy to repurpose content, to pay attention with some different channels as well?
Yeah, and so the funny thing is, so the harmony part was a unique thing that when we started meeting with teams, we started meeting from an SEO perspective. Keep in mind, we weren't SEO agents to start the business, so we came with a different thought process than the normal agency mentality. So when we would come in, we'd go, well, where's the person doing the social media? And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, why aren't they in the meeting? They're like, they're supposed to be in the meeting. We're like, we don't know. Shouldn't they be? And they're like, well, I guess it would help. Like, yeah, it would help. So the next meeting, they add the social media person. Where's the writer? Should the writer be in the meeting? Yeah, that would help. Okay, writer comes in the meeting. Next meeting, where's the content? Where's the graphics? Graphics person should be in the meeting? Yeah. So next meeting, we have the writer, the social person, the SEO person, all in the same meeting, and sparks are flying. And they're going, shouldn't we have all been in the meetings together from the beginning? You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, wait, yeah, the copy goes with the graphics, goes with the message, goes with the SEO, goes with. So if you, so the guy's like, so if I do an email that's pointing to the blog post and then you social media share the blog post, people's brains is just exploding. It's like, yeah, check this out. Your email can be in harmony with your blog post, can be in harmony with your SEO, can be in harmony with your social media strategy. And if you hook all those together with the same keyword thought process from the CEO that goes all the way down through the social media channel and the engagement, you're going to be rich. Meaning that's the way it works. That's the way you write a hit song. You know what I mean? You get everybody on board and it just all super slides into place. So it was an epiphany. It was okay, so I'm over here in a silo as an SEO person, and I'm doing keyword research, and I'm like, I'm going to write this blog article. But imagine how much powerful that's going to be, because guess what? In the EAT algorithm and in the people go, well, social media shares isn't a ranking factor. You probably heard that. Yes, it is. It's not when it's by itself. When it's by itself, that's the thing. A song isn't a song with one chord or with one note. You need multiple notes. So by itself, it's not a ranking factor. But if you add it to another thing and to another thing, it makes all the difference. Okay? So if you add the blog post to the email campaign, guess what that's going to get you? A higher CTR. Guess what people are talking about in the SEO world? CTR manipulation. Don't manipulate anything. Stop manipulating. That's not necessary. The only thing that's necessary is to be in harmony. And what does that mean? That means your email campaign is in harmony with your SEO campaign, is in harmony with your social media campaign. And if all those are in harmony, Google is going to love you like nobody's business. Okay. Because they're going to, that's just going to slide. That's a slippery slope when you create this harmony. When you hear it, you're like, oh, that feels good. Oh, when you hear the right harmony, it just melts you. It just changes you. And that's the way it is for SEO as well. That's what we've discovered. And so when we add those things together, and that's why the strategy matters. When you add the blog to the email campaign, to the social media campaign, to the YouTube video that's shared, to the podcast that's connected, like to the product offering, to the opt-in, that's the gift that then what they read in the gift leads them to the next piece of the phase. You know what I'm saying? All that in harmony and connected together is what makes the magic.
Nice,
Hopefully that
nice.
explains it, but that's kind of is getting all those little pieces together is kind of what makes that magic. It's not I know we all want to work in a silo because we're SEO people, but we just need to bring those people in the team. You know what I mean? We just need to bring them together. And if everybody comes together, you'll see the magic happen. The light bulbs in their eyes were just like, wait, we should have all been meeting together from the beginning. It's like, yes, yes, we're a team, right? You know, let's work together.
Nice, nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, can you tell how to create this team from different experts, you know, who someone is probably knows about link building, others about content creation, technical optimization, how to find them, you know, and unite with one goal?
Yeah, totally. So kind of we break it down. There's different roles, and those different roles based on personality types. So like not everybody's a researcher. Some people hate research. And you know, with SEO, you need a good researcher, right? You got to have good research. Some people hate that. Some people love content. They love creating. They love creating graphics. They could create YouTube videos. They love creating, but they don't like research. So we've broken down kind of these roles into different, they're based on personality types, which I know sounds weird, but it's broken down to like researcher, practitioner, creator, or mentor. And mentor is that manager, the person who's keeping track of the task, the liaison with the clients. You know, they're the person who's communicating to the tech people, and they're being the they're talking human speak. Those are the mentors. But then you got the researchers those are the ones doing the keyword research, the competitive research. They're the ones using all the tools in the spreadsheets, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we segment it based on that. So it creates the harmony where you don't. Now, I mean, jack of all trades, you could have one person that does it all, but they're not going to be good at it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why if you can find researcher and then put them in the competitive keyword, finding the low-hanging fruit, all that kind of stuff, they'll shine at that. Then your creators, you put them in your graphics, put them in your content creation, that kind of stuff. Practitioners are the ones who are they're just workhorses. Your link builders, your outreachers, your VAs that are contacting people, that's your practitioners. You know what I mean? Those are the people that just give me a task, give me a task, give me a task. Creators don't want a task. Creators don't want a task. They just want to look out the window and imagine. You know what I mean? So, but practitioners want a task. Researchers, they just want to give me something to look into. You know what I mean? And then mentors, they're going to piece it all together. They're going to bring in the client. They're going to bring in and piece it all together. So that's kind of how we manage all that on our team from the SEO perspective, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
So broke it down into kind of 4 different, and it's different than like most teams are like SEO manager, SEO specialist. Kind of, that's not the way we work on kind of where your gifts are, meaning where are your strengths, where are your gifts. And if you're into creating, what can you create? And so when we work with clients, that's why we go, are you a writer or are you a face? Are you a voice? Because if you're a voice, we don't even do blogging. We go straight to the YouTube channel route. You know what I mean? Because who owns YouTube? Google, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you want to rank on Google for a video, rank on YouTube for a video, and you'll rank on Google for a video. So if you're a video person, we go to YouTube. If you're a writer, we definitely go to blogging. 100%. You know what I'm saying? If you're a writer, then that's your thing. So if you're a creator, what type of creator? Are you a video creator or are you a writer? And then the creator goes in their way. If you're a researcher, you know, then you're going to do are you researching the keywords? Are you researching competitors? Are you researching the space, the market, the message? That's what the researchers do, you know? And then they bring that back to the project managers who go, okay, we got to piece this together. And then they hand out tasks to the practitioners. So that's kind of how we do it.
Yeah, love it. I can explain why. Because, you know, I think, when I read a few marketing books and they proclaim that you need to learn your competitors. But for example, competitors usually highlight their strong side. But if you are good with another side, you know, for example, I don't know, like you mentioned, if you are good with filming, why you need to write if you are good with filming and if you love filming? So go to YouTube. if you are good with writing, then skip filming or any other stuff, just to use your strong sides. And
yeah,
and
yeah,
don't
because
copy
there's tons of people making tons of cash on just YouTube alone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's based on the strategy. So we want to know what your strategy is to determine where to go. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just a tactic. Whether you use YouTube or use whatever it is, that's just a tactic. So the strategy leads to the tactics, and the strategy is from the goal. So what do you want to do as the goal? And then we orchestrate the team around that based on their strengths. And that's all like a great orchestra. That's why we're hum jam. We're jamming. We're just jamming. We're humming and we're jamming.
Okay. Joseph, it's a big pleasure to
Yes.
get on my show to learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Yes. So the easiest way, because right now I'm building out my Twitter channel right now, is to use my Snap link. I love these link bio links. I'm addicted to them. Like I have a link tree, a bio link, all these kind of things. But I'm really loving my Snap link, and I'll put it in the chat for anyone. And it's just Snap. When I say Snap, that's ZNAP.link/Joseph S. Kahn. And Joseph S. Kahn is on everything from Twitter to LinkedIn to Facebook. If you put in, there's already a famous Joseph Kahn. Unfortunately, he's the DJ for Britney Spears. So that was very difficult to have his name. My name. So I'm Joseph S. Kahn. S. We got to put the S in there. Otherwise, I don't rank. So yeah. So it's Joseph S. Kahn. So Twitter /Joseph S. Kahn, everything. And then my YouTube will be /Joseph S. Kahn. As soon as I get I just started that because I'm doing YouTube now, because I'm releasing courses and different things. So any of those courses that you'll see are on that Snap link. There's a lot of free fundamental courses, and I think I saw you had even tweeted on or posted on my training on there. So there's some fundamental SEO training in there, so maybe you'll like that stuff too.
Nice.
And you can connect with me on any socials using that link. Also connect with me. I share, I tweet, I'll retweet. I'm a player. I'm a team player. So get with me and let's have fun.
Yeah, got it. Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks a lot for your time. It's a big pleasure. Yeah, I love your energy. How you can share all this stuff. It's valuable.
Awesome.
It's interesting to learn. And your energy can overcome everything. Okay, guys. Yes. Thanks a lot for watching and listening.
Thank you so much.